What is up, guys? It is Carly here, bringing you a new video. Now, I'm not exactly sure yet what I'm going to even title this video, but basically what this is going to be is a new crazy weekly, hopefully, series where I review every single movie in my collection here, A to Z or 1 to Z, whatever, it starts with numbers technically, but so yeah, I'm going to go in order and review every single movie I have in my collection and try to post a review every Friday. The reason that I want to do this is because I really just kind of look at my collection all the time and think about all the movies that I've been wanting to either rewatch or get rid of, or just movies that I feel like don't have rewatchability, or movies that maybe I watched once and wasn't paying attention to enough, and all that stuff. And I just think, like, when am I ever going to have the chance to really go back to those, and when am I going to feel like it, and all that fun stuff. And I thought this would be a cool idea to really go through my collection and just kind of give everything a solid rewatch and actually pay close attention to what I'm watching as much as I can, that is. I mean, if a movie's totally boring, it might be kind of hard, but, and then it would also, kind of allow me to maybe get rid of certain things that I decide that I'll probably never watch again. So, yeah, that's my idea for this series. Will it completely be successful? Who knows? I may miss a week or two, but I'm gonna try to just go for it and see what happens. Like I said, every Friday you will see a new review, and it will help me get better at reviews. Also, I'm sitting on my floor right now. I never thought to do this ever for whatever reason, but it's actually looks kind of cool, honestly. A good way to show my collection. Sitting on the floor is not ideal, but I have my setup on a chair here. I do want to try to buy an actual camera this year and suck it up. I did not buy one last year because I wanted to save money, but I feel like an actual camcorder that I could put on a tripod would be a little bit better than this. But for now, I'm okay with this. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get right into the first movie that we will be discussing, and that is 28 Days Later from, I believe, the year 2002. It says 2003 on the back, but for some reason I'm thinking this came out in 2002. I don't know, could be completely wrong. We're off to a great start, obviously. But yeah, 28 Days Later, this is basically set in, area where there's been this huge mysterious outbreak, and a bunch of people are just becoming infected. The big argument is this is more of an infected movie than a zombie movie, and I would agree there is definitely a difference between zombies and infected people, and this is a great example of an infected movie, even though on the back it does classify it as a zombie film, but I would consider this more infected than a zombie film. But anyway, you have this big outbreak, and people are going crazy, and if you get, like, the blood of these infected people on you, or just some sort of DNA going on, then you become infected as well, and, you're not dying or anything, you're just one of these crazy people, and you're out to try to, capture more people who are not yet infected. So you have this group of people consisting of a young girl, she looks like she's probably, like, I don't know, 14 or something around that area. Then you have her father, then you have some random dude that woke up in the hospital and met up with them, and then you have this sort of badass type of black chick. Obviously I suck at names here, but that's your main group of people, and they're trying to get to this military base where they can be safe from all that is going on, and of course things aren't necessarily what they seem. So that's the idea, I guess, of this movie. It's honestly kind of a basic plot there, but, a lot of people really enjoy this film, and this is actually only my second viewing of it ever. I really liked it the first time that I saw it, or I wouldn't say really liked it. I thought it was a pretty good movie, but I wasn't overly enthused by it. I find it to be more of a downer movie than overly entertaining and fun, which that's what it's meant to be. It's very gloomy, just the way it's shot, and it's one of those movies that's very much filmed in the dark for a lot of scenes, but you also get some good landscape shots as well, so it's not completely in the dark. But that in the dark feel is okay sometimes, but then other times I don't really care for it because I feel like I literally can't see what's going on in the movie, whether that's the intent or not. I just don't really care for that. I like being able to see what's happening, because I feel like I get more engaged that way. But you know, like I said, it's not like the entire movie is filmed like that. There are certain movies that are completely filmed in that way, and that's kind of a peeve of mine. But this one doesn't really struggle too bad with that. The characters you're following, I really enjoy. I think, you know, you really just kind of feel for them. They're very likable characters, and that's honestly my favorite part of the movie, is their adventure trying to get to this destination, their goal destination, because you have certain scenes of, like, there's one scene in particular where they go to a grocery store and they're just obviously buying a bunch of crap and just throwing it in the buggies and having kind of a good time doing it. It's probably the most lighthearted moment in the entire film, and I really enjoy it. I like grocery store moments in movies, and also the scene kind of reminds me of Phantasm 2, where they go shopping for guns and things like that. It even has like a line that's very similar to what a line that's said in that movie, oddly enough, but that's just something I kind of picked up on this time around that I thought was kind of cool. But yeah, the characters are cool. You know, the young girl, I feel like there's certain scenes where she doesn't really show all that much emotion, and I'm not sure if that's intentional or just something with her, but I almost felt like she could have been a little more emotional in certain aspects of the film, not to give anything away or anything like that, but I just felt like I don't think she's a bad actress or anything like that. It just seemed like she never really showed too much emotion throughout the movie, and that might just be trying to show that she's a very strong young character, but I'm not too sure. That's just something that kind of almost takes away from a certain moment that happens in this film. I don't feel like it was as emotional as it could be, or as a lot of people say it is, for that reason alone, but you know, it's not a huge deal. But yeah, the way this movie's shot is just fantastic as well. The big scene that people always talk about, it was even kind of shown once in 100 Scariest Movie Moments, is the not necessarily the opening scene, but the scene where the guy wakes up in the hospital, and he walks outside, and he's just walking around for what seems like a long time, and he's calling out to people, and there's just no one in the world. You get the sense that he's the last person on the face of the earth, and that's just a really creepy concept to me. I would be completely terrified if I was completely alone like that, and I think it's just amazing the way they shot it and the way they pulled it off, and there's just no one around, no cars, no people, no anything, and the town's just kind of looks like it's been ripped to pieces in a way, and I just think it's very brilliant. Another thing about this movie that I really enjoyed was the score, especially at the end. There's like this sort of big epic ending type of scene going on, and the music just keeps on amping up, and I think it's just very, very fitting and very effective in this movie. Probably, honestly, one of my favorites now that I heard it. You know, like I said, this movie isn't one that I really go back to a whole lot, but I did remember that score, and I've heard that score multiple times before, and I just think it's very, very effective and kind of gets you hype in a way. But overall, this movie, like I said, I like the build-up where they're trying to get to their destination. Once they get there and things start to kind of go a little awry once they arrive, I don't really care for that part necessarily. I don't know what it is. It just kind of, I'm just not as into it as I am for the beginning portions necessarily, but I don't think it's bad or anything like that. Overall, I think the movie is a pretty solid film. Like I said, the storyline is one that you've definitely seen before. Almost reminds me of a video game in a way, which is pretty cool. I guess all these kind of I'm not going to even try to say it. All these survival type of movies have that type of feel to them, and that's something that I always enjoy about them. I'm not a huge fan of films like this in general, so that's kind of one thing that this movie has against it, is it just doesn't really have much rewatchability for me. Not one that I would run back to, but I think it is a brilliant film and one that I would just keep in my collection just for the sake of having. I've never seen 28 Weeks Later, but I hear that one is pretty solid too, but once again, not my type of film, so I probably wouldn't seek it out necessarily. So yeah, but this movie, pretty good. I give it an 8 out of 10. Solid flick. If you have not seen it, definitely check it out. Like I said, it's more of a depressing survival type of movie than it is overly fun or entertaining. But for what it is, I think it's pretty solid. So 8 out of 10. Thank you guys for joining me for the first review in this long ass series that I'm about to be doing, and yeah, hopefully you guys stick around, and I'll try to figure out a title for this video, and yeah, I will see you next week.